Hey, welcome back to my channel. Are you looking for the softest, most garlicky rolls on the planet? These Ukrainian Pampushky, they're traditional and easy to bake and surprisingly healthy thanks to the fresh, delicious parsley and sunflower oil on top. So I'm sharing this authentic family recipe. Give it a try and see how easy it is to make. Thanks for dropping by. Today's recipe is super simple, and they're called Pampushky or little garlic buns. And there's very little work involved. And let me show you what goes into making these Pampushky. So to make these Pampushky, you're going to need a total of 390 grams of all-purpose flour. And because I have a digital scale, I weighed out two portions. The first portion in this big measuring cup is 195 grams. The other one I measured, and just to show you, in case you don't have a digital scale, 195 grams equates to 1.5 cups of all-purpose 8 grams. And there's 1 teaspoon of sugar, and we're going to add 1 cup of water that is heated up to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And basically, that's it. So let's get started making my Pampushky. Okay, to start with, I have 1 cup of warm water that's 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to add in our 1 teaspoon of sugar, mix it up thoroughly, and then pour in our yeast, mix it up, and we're going to let this foam up proof. So we're going to let this proof, and we'll add the flour in a minute. Okay, it's been 10 minutes later, and our yeast has proofed really nice and foamy. So we're going to mix that up and then start making our Pampushky. Okay, to start with, I'm going to add our first amount of flour, 195 grams. And then we're going to add in our proofed yeast, all of it. And I'm going to use a silicone spatula to mix everything up and see how this goes. So it's going to be quite runny. So once we get this all mixed up, the deal is you're going to mix this thoroughly, and then you're going to cover it with plastic wrap and then put it in your fridge overnight, and preferably like up to 12 hours. And but I think it can stay in there up to 16, and it's going to be nice and runny. And then tomorrow, once the yeast has risen in your fridge slowly, we're going to add the other half of my flour, 195 grams. So let me just mix this up and then pop it in the fridge, and that's the end of stage 1. Okay, it's been almost 24 hours, and I took out my Pampushky dough that has been bubbling here, and I'll try and get a good picture in there, and you can see it is like, oh, smells so yeasty. So the next part of this simple recipe is to add a teaspoon and a half of kosher salt to this flour mixture. And then we're going to add the second half of the flour, which is 195 grams. So let me change the camera angle, and let's start working on our dough. Okay, here's our dough, and it's bubbling here, and it's ready for some more flour. So I'm going to add this in very slowly, work it in with a spatula, and then once it's incorporated, I'll get in there with my hands. So let me just mix all this up, and we'll check in on it in a couple of minutes. So I've been working my dough for about 5 minutes so far, and it's not sticking to my fingers anymore. And I got some flour out on the rolling sheet, and I'll put a bit more, and it's probably going to take another 5-10 minutes to knead this dough properly to get the glutens reacting. And yeah, it's It smells really good. The dough, by the way, is still kind of cool to the touch. So as I work it a bit more, it's going to get warmer, and it's going to be lovely. And really great exercise. So you got to give this recipe a try soon. And let me keep on working away at this, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so my dough ball turned out really nice, and it's not sticking. It's nice and soft. And so the next part would help if you had a digital scale of some kind, because each ball should be around 75 grams. So I'm just saying, otherwise you would have to eyeball it. You should bake it in a cast iron, or in my case, a non-stick baking pan. And mine is 8 inches by about 1.5 inches high. And I was lucky enough to find sunflower oil from Ukraine. So Ukrainian pastry with Ukrainian sunflower oil. I mean, it's just poetic. Put about a tablespoon or so of the oil in the pan using your pastry brush. Paint all the corners and crevices, the sides, and you're going to notice like sunflower seed oil smells really nutty, really delicious, and which is a good reason to use this and not olive oil, although I guess you could. So we're going to take our dough ball and cut it down the middle, and then each piece, as I mentioned, is going to be 75 grams plus or minus. And so obviously I was off the mark. And so just take the two pieces together and just squish them together in your the palm of your hand, and just roll it out and roll it out. And so at this point, there's a bit of that oil on my palms and my fingers, and it kind of helped in forming it really nice and evenly as possible, given the fact this is the first time I ever made this. Okay, the last step. So I further rolled out the balls, and they're all on average around 76 grams each. And so you put one in the middle and 7 around the outside. And now we're going to cover this with a tea towel and let it rise in my warm kitchen for probably 2 to 3 hours. And then we're going to bake it. So it's that easy. So it's been 2 hours that my pampushky have been rising, and they are looking really nice. So it's covered with a plastic wrap and a towel. So now, before we pop it into the oven, we're going to take 1 egg yolk and 1 teaspoon of water. Mix all that up. Bring this here. And then get my pastry brush and then just cover the entire surface. Do it this way. So it's going into a 425 degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes. And you want a nice golden brown crust. And these will rise probably a little bit more. And then while these are baking, I'm going to be preparing the parsley and garlic. And that's it for that. So let's pop this into the oven and start preparing the other thing. Okay, while my pampushky are baking in the oven, I'm going to be preparing the topping, which is 2 to 3 tablespoons of my beautiful sunflower oil. I'm using 6 garlic buds and about 1/4 cup of parsley that's going to be chopped up. So let me get to chopping these up. And you're going to want to chop these really fine. And let me get these chopped up, and then we'll work on the parsley. And next, let's chop up our parsley really nice and fine. And we'll put it in the bowl with the garlic. We're going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of sunflower oil, and we'll be ready to top my buns off. There you go, nice and fine parsley. And so we'll add that to my bowl right here. And let me go get the sunflower oil. There's our sunflower oil. So we're going to put in 3 tablespoons. Number 2. And number 3. Give it a nice mix up. And now we just got to wait for the buns to finish baking. And we'll spread this on top and then feast out. So my Pampushky are done. And to be honest, like, this is the first time I ever made these buns, and I was expecting them to be a bit more plump instead of like in wedges. And what I had to do was go with a very sharp knife and separate them. I mean, it is cooked. So let me just spread the love and joy of my parsley and garlic and sunflower oil from the Ukraine. And I'm sure it's going to be spectacular anyway. And we'll see. Maybe the next time I'll do it in a cast iron pan and see if the results are different or are they the same. I don't know. So I'm going to let this cool off just a little bit, and I'm going to go get my bowl of beautiful, delicious borscht that I made yesterday. And this goes with borscht so well, it's not even funny. So let me go get that. So my Pampushky look absolutely delicious, and overall I'm happy with the results I got. So I'm going to enjoy that with a fresh bowl of borscht that I made yesterday, and with a good healthy dollop of sour cream on top. So let's get that out and check out how nice and fluffy. Oh wow. I'm happy with the results. So just give it a dip into my borscht. I guess that's how the folks in Ukraine eat it. Wow. The garlic, the parsley, the oil, the borscht. Wow. You got to try it. So I'll try and put a link up just after this little speech for my recipe on my version of borscht. And try that, try this, and I guarantee your family will be very happy. So thanks for dropping by my channel. A thumbs up, as always, is appreciated. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And till the next one, my friends, take care, enjoy